What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we're just going to do a quick little video today. We are going to jump in and take a look at a solo Vergis build for the Scarab King. Now, I am a bit late to the party on this one. A lot of people have been doing this Vergis build for quite a while, but I finally got around to the point where I'm trying to push 3v3 pretty hard. And what I wound up having to do is move my Lysandra out of my Scarab team, which she was specifically tuned for. I had a specific speed tuned Scarab team for hard Doom Tower with Metal Shaper, Stag Knight, Allure, Lysandra, and Lady Kimmy. So they were all speed tuned, and it was basically the team I used to beat hard Doom Tower the first couple times I did it. But recently, as I've been trying to push 3v3 for the Ramontu missions, I decided I really need to get my Lysandra out of being locked into that Scarab team and be able to run her in some actual arena content. You can see here, this is like kind of just the run-of-the-mill build I had her in. You can see she's at 412 accuracy, about 241 speed, so definitely gonna have to retweak her a little bit. We had just built her specifically for the Scarab King, and I'll be retuning her a little bit to start using her in the 3v3 arena, and also in Gold 5 if we have to. So far, Gold 5 has been pretty easy since the changes they've made, but wanted to go ahead and get her out of that team. So I decided, you know what, I actually had a Vergis laying around that I had never used on this account. He was 5 stars. I had been working on building him up, but I had never actually needed him on this account, so he was just kind of sitting there, and I said, all right, you know what, let's go ahead and just finally do it. We've got the gear for it. We'll go ahead and put him together. So here he is. We'll go into his stats and his build. I want to thank Chosen. Actually, I used his video as kind of a baseline. I'll leave a link for that down below in the description. Chosen is a big Raid content creator. He did a video on the solo Vergis build quite a while back, and I kind of used that as a baseline for some of the stats, and actually built mine a little bit beefier just to make sure he'd be able to get through it. I think Chosen went a little bit higher with HP, a little bit lower in defense, and then used some aura mechanics and some other champions in the run, but I just did mine straight up solo with Vergis, which you'll see here at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. You can see here, basically have a destroy set and an immortal set, and then just a couple of gear pieces for the accessories to go ahead and flesh him out. So what I went for here mainly was resistance and a little bit of speed. Also, while trying to get him as close to 100% crit rate as possible, because he is doing this solo, he's going to have to do a little bit of damage on his own, or else this is just going to take forever. And it's still a pretty long run on level 100 in hard Doom Tower. It's still going to be around anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on a variety of factors like RNG, and also whether or not your computer speeds are running. Like if you're running at 60 FPS or whatever you're doing there, it's going to all affect that. So it's going to be a pretty long run to get this taken care of, but you only got to do it one time as it comes to Scarab 100 in the Doom Tower hard if you're just trying to get through it. And I just kind of wanted to do this in case anybody's still looking for a solution and wanted to check this out a little bit. So I can kind of show you the rolls we got on some of the gear here. We did get a little bit of defense on some of these, and Vergis is a pretty easy champion to build. He's a very defense intensive champion, and you've seen me use him on the free-to-play account with our Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team. He's a very solid champion for Clan Boss as well, and several other areas in the game. We were fortunate enough to have some crit rate gloves in the Immortal set that did get a pretty good roll on the defense there. And you can see here, we haven't glyphed a lot of this either. We could get him a little faster with some speed glyphs. We got a really nice HP percent chest here with a triple speed roll that we did decide to roll a couple times, even though it had 2 flat stats. We got lucky and got that triple speed, and then got the accuracy at the bottom, but we really don't care about accuracy on him for this purpose here. We got him in some speed boots with double HP percent roll and some defense as well. Got a little bit of nice resistance there on the final roll, which was pretty helpful. I got a really good ring here that actually rolled triple HP percent and then hit the flat attack on the last one, which kind of sucked, but it's still a really solid ring there. And we don't have any glyphs right now because we're doing the get 40 5-star glyphs to max. So I'm out of glyphs completely. I didn't have any glyphs for that, but hopefully we can get a good HP glyph to throw on there and really pick up his HP a little bit more. Got him in defense amulet because we did hit a triple resistance roll there, which is pretty handy. And then we've got him in a resistance banner that did get a double speed roll. So pretty solid overall. Take a look at his total stats here. We're coming in about 52,000 HP, 3,200 defense, 213 speed. Almost hit that crit cap. It would have been nice to get that just to get him to a little bit more damage, and almost 400 resistance, which is plenty for Scarab 100 in the Hard Doom Tower, whichever rotation you're doing with the Scarab King in it. That's going to be plenty right there. And you can see here, just from the Great Hall, we're getting 70 resistance. I did just recently bring my Spirit Great Hall up to 9 out of 10, so we're getting a pretty nice chunk there from that, and then 279 from our gear. And you see all the other numbers we're getting from the Great Hall. Here, my Great Hall is getting there, pretty well developed. At the minimum, I have everything at a 7. I've got about 6 level 10s done now, and I've got a level 9. And I'm working on just continuing to build the Great Hall up. So we're doing pretty well there, and got some other stuff from the Masteries. I'll show you the Masteries I went ahead and took on him. We did go down to War Master just to make sure he's getting some extra damage, since he is doing the waves by himself and also doing the Scarab King by himself. And Vergis is a pretty economical champion when it comes to books. You really only need the 7 books there. So epic books are pretty easy to come by now from the clan boss, at least on my account they are, so it wasn't too hard to get him booked out. But that's basically the build for Vergis. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to go right into the footage here of the run. Now, just a disclaimer here, I like to say this because I don't really hear too many content creators talk about this, but this is not going to be 100%. You still have a 3% resist issue in this game, where the Scarab King he can steal your continuous heal. He can get through your resistance. You hit that resistance check, and for some odd reason, at 3%, it screws you on the RNG. It's one of the things that'll drive you absolutely insane in this game. Even though Vergis has strong affinity to Scarab 100 on this rotation, he can still wind up getting screwed over by RNG. So keep that in mind. I ran this about 5 times today, and it did fail once, so it's a very tiny sample size, obviously, but it's possible this will not work. You may have to run it more than once. So if you do it the first time and your stats are pretty similar, it may just be because you got a bad beat with the RNG. It may just be that 3% rule kind of screwed you over a little bit. So don't get discouraged. Try it again, see if it works, and if not, you may have to tweak your build a little bit, tweak your stats. But overall, this will work on level 100 Hard Doom Tower Scarab King. So let's jump into the run, and we'll talk about that a little bit before we let it play through. And just to prove my point here, guys, I wanted to go ahead and just start off with one of my failed attempts that I actually had when I was actually attempting to record this run for the video. You can see here we're toward the end. We almost got him down, but we're just so low on health because he's been able to either land a debuff on us or strip away one of our buffs despite our resistance a couple of times. So we wind up failing that run, and that's why I wanted to show this to you guys. That's why I mentioned it is possible to fail this because of that 3% RNG issue. But we're going to start it over here. We're going to run through, and Vergis is perfectly capable of getting through this by himself with the build stats you saw earlier. I think it takes him like a minute 30, 2 minutes per each wave before he gets to the Scarab King. You'll be able to see that here. I'm going to speed this up in a minute. I'm not going to talk through the entire play of this run. We'll speed it up so you guys don't have to sit here for a long time. But you can also help this along if you want. You could bring in other champions. Like if you want to bring in an aura champion with a defense aura or an HP aura in all battles, or a Doom Tower aura to kind of help Vergis out once he gets to the Scarab King, you can do that. The only thing is, once you get to the Scarab King, you really need the rest of your team to be dead, because the thing is, Vergis has to be putting his buffs on himself in order to get this solo strategy to work. And if you have someone that's still alive with him once he gets to the Scarab King and he puts those buffs up on that person, then it's not going to work. You're both going to wind up getting killed, and you're going to fail the run. So if you're going to bring in anybody here, make sure they're going to die off sometime during wave 2, because otherwise it's going to be really difficult to get the tune going to where Vergis is putting the buffs up on himself non-stop. But it can be helpful. It can speed up your run. Bring in like somebody like Ethos and just make him a glass cannon to wipe the waves real quick, or another nuker who's going to die off after a couple of hits. That can speed it up by a couple minutes. But for this, I just wanted to go ahead and do the true solo, because most of the time when I'm doing Hard Doom Tower on these boss fights, I'm putting on an auto, I'm walking away and doing something else, doing chores or whatever, and I'll come back and see if it worked or not and just hit replay. If not, it's not something I'm playing at the same time. So I don't care if he's doing it solo. I don't care if it takes him 15 minutes. As I said, especially for Hard Doom Tower 100, all I got to do is beat it one time, and he's perfectly capable of doing that, as you'll see here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play through. If you guys have any questions at all about anything in the video, leave them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to help you out as soon as I can with that. Any questions about the build, if you're having trouble with yours, maybe you just need to tweak your stats, or we can try to help you out with that. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.